We'll call our Traffic and Parking Commission October the 8th meeting to order, and we'll get underway here. Appreciate all the commissioners being here and the staff. Appreciate those in our audience. At the proper time, you'll be heard. If you're not satisfied with the decision made by the Traffic and Parking Commission, you may appeal the decision by filing a writ of certiorari with the Davidson County Chancery or Circuit Court. Your appeal must be filed within 60 days of the date of the entry of the Commission's decision. We advise that you seek your own independent legal advice to ensure that your appeal is filed in a timely manner and that all procedural requirements have been met. Do I have approval of today's agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, as approved. We will be approving minutes of two meetings, one August the 13th and September the 20th. So do I have a motion for the approval of the August 13th meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So approved. We'll now approve the September the 10th meeting.
I'd like to make a motion to approve, but they need to be modified. We had approved a modified speed limit on 31st Avenue from the park side of the parking lot 30 miles an hour, not 20 in the stated minutes. In fact, I think we approved it all the way to West End.
Right, right.
That is correct.
Okay. On the amendment, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now we'll approve the minutes as amended.
So moved.
Okay. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So approved as amended. On our consent agenda, items on the consent agenda will be voted on at a single time. No individual public hearing will be held, nor will the commission debate these items unless a member of the audience or the commission requests that the item be removed from the consent agenda. Okay. We have no old business, and there are no appeals this month. So we have two resolutions on the consent agenda, and if there's, well, with your permission, we'll vote on these at the same time unless you want to discuss one of them, and they will be by hand vote. Proposal number 2012M-015AB-001, a request to abandon a portion of alley number 555, easements and utilities to be relocated from Dr. D.B. Todd Boulevard eastward approximately 150 feet between properties located at 1724, 1726, and 1728 Scoville Street, and 1729 and 1733 Hyman Street. This is requested by Reagan Smith and Associates, and the applicant is Lee Chapel AME Church in Clinton Smith. Any discussion on these? Okay, on this one? Okay. Proposal 2012M-016AB-001, a request to abandon an unnumbered alley, easements to be retained from Franklin Limestone Road southeastward to its terminus between properties located at 204 and 208 Franklin Limestone Road and 2101, 2107A, 2115, and 2127 Murfreesboro Road, requested by William P. Cooper, the abutting property owner. Who is the abutting property owner? Okay. Any discussion on this one? If not, I'll ask for a motion to approve both of these. Do I have a motion?
You do.
Second?
Second.
Well, this will be by hand vote. So raise your right hand. All in favor, raise your right hand. 3, 5, 6, 7. 7, 4. None against. Okay, moving right along. The next item on the agenda is the Vanderbilt shuttle parking. We have some speakers here who will speak to that, and I'm going to ask for staff report.
Well, Well, bear with me here. This is new to all of us here. But per code, the commission has the authority to grant Public Works the right to issue a special permit for vehicle use in an area that is otherwise not intended for that use. So hang in there with me. Right here on Orleans Avenue and Ackland Avenue, we have a truck prohibition, the red lines there, meaning service vehicles over 5,000 pounds aren't supposed to be on these roadways. It was passed by the commission some time ago. And I think you all know what the intent is. Large vehicles are circulating through that roadway for one reason or another, but we won't get into that. Now, Vanderbilt has a couple of office buildings near the area, and they'll get up here and speak in a minute, where they need to have shuttle service in the area, but the width of the roads and the intersections themselves will not allow these vehicles to turn around safely and go right back out. So in operating their service, they circle around these roadways. While doing that, they enter a truck prohibited area. So just to be on the up and up, they got with the neighbors, they got with the council member, they got with Public Works, and utilizing code that's in your packet there, code, let me see here, 36080, which gives the commission the authority to tell Public Works to issue a permit to each individual vehicle, and it says that right in front of you there, to be able to use roadways that they're not supposed to be on. And that way, Public Works and the commissioners themselves, if they wanted to, can go sort of police this area, make sure the vehicles that are using the road have been granted permission to be there. Now, to do that, we need to know the size of the vehicles and the frequency of the visits and what season you're going to be there. All that kind of stuff can be worked out later. What we need from the commission is permission to give these permits out. And if you say no, that's okay. Maybe the condition of the road won't handle these vehicles. And if you say yes, that means these shuttles can be there, but the truck prohibition still works to keep out the beer truck or the tour bus or whatever it happens to be. So I think you should kind of read over that code. It's in your packet there, or you can look at the slides while our visitors here kind of give their side of the story. We're all on the same page here. We just want the commission to know that they have this authority to issue this permit through us. And we can revoke it at your discretion also.
I have a question, Mr. Chairman.
Sure.
Okay, I'll get used to this one day. Ordinary trucks like beer trucks or other delivery trucks, they don't have a right to be there. Is that what you're saying, if we grant permission?
Correct. Right now, service vehicles over 5,000 pounds are not supposed to be there.
Unless we give them permission?
Correct.
If we give them permission, they'll be allowed to do the same thing? Correct. That brings up the other question, and that is, how legal is this as far as we're not going to look at being sued by any of the other truck lines or people that are wanting to use this and are going to be prohibited from using that. And how are we going to handle that? That's all I'm concerned.
Good point. I think when that case comes up, we'd have to say, why do you need to be here? Vanderbilt has presented their case of why they need to be here, where the other delivery guy can also state his case. UPS, of course, can go up in there. FedEx, they're conducting service. They're loading and unloading. It's part of their business. Truck prohibitions are either in place because of the road condition can't handle the weight, or it's a cut through, and you're trying to keep trucks from cutting through. It's a nuisance. Trucks are allowed to use even truck prohibited areas if they're in the act of delivering. If you need a moving van, it can come down your street even if you have a truck prohibition. So to answer your question, I guess if we had an application for permit from somebody, Bud Light, we would have to really weigh that out and see, are you sure you need to be here? And then when they turn it down, they might be standing here appealing it to you guys.
Okay. Any other comments or questions from the commission? Mr. Barge, would you want to speak or introduce your guest and go to the lectern and turn the little red switch on? And staff, do we have a pad for them to sign?
We do. They've already signed it.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Mary Pat Teague. I'm the Associate Director for Community, Neighborhood, and Government Relations at Vanderbilt, and appreciate the opportunity to be here today. We won't take too much of your time. Chip did a very good job of sort of explaining the situation. Vanderbilt does have a shuttle that runs up towards two buildings on West End. One is at the corner of 3401 West End Avenue, and one is a little bit further down at 3309 West End Avenue. And just given the configuration of the streets, we ran into a problem with the weight restrictions and getting the vehicles safely in and out of there. So we were working with Public Works on this, and that's where we came up with the this possible code and the permit process. But just for history, I want to let you know, we've been up there since 2002. And what we have found is there are about 500 and some people that ride these shuttles every day. So if it wasn't for the shuttle, there would be over 200 probably round trips daily, additional personal vehicles that we're going back and forth to the medical center. It's not just staff and faculty, it's students, it's patients, it's anyone who lives in that neighborhood who can hop on the shuttle and go. And there are some that pick it up and then come over to West End and get on an MTA bus and take it downtown. So we feel like the service has been utilized and has been something that's been good for the neighborhood as well. The shuttles run every 20 minutes from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. What we have instructed our drivers is to try to be good neighbors, to watch the speed, to obey the speed limit, and they are cautioned when we get in reports that they're not obeying the speed limit. So we really try to keep them on task on that. And also, if they see a situation, go below the speed limit, because sometimes in residential neighborhoods, given the configuration of streets up there, that's just something that's required. So we sort of look at it as a public transportation. It's obviously run by a private institution, but it is public transportation. Anyone that is in that area can hop on it. There's no fee, and they, can get over to the campus, get to West End, get over to 21st by the medical center. So we look at it as hopefully a win-win for everyone. But when the weight restrictions were posted up there, that's when we found out our shuttle. Initially, we thought it wouldn't be a problem, but then we realized there were some issues and it was in violation. And that's when we brought in Dan Barge from Barge Cawthron to look at this and see what he can do to kind of engineer us out of it. And I will let him address those things.
Thank you. I'm Dan Barge with Barge Cawthron Civil Engineers, and we were retained by the medical center to look at the existing drop-off, which is behind 3401. I get that Crystal Terrace mixed up, on Ackland, because the drivers, the street is such that the shuttle driver, as he drops off on the drop-off side, to turn and go back down to West End, has got to make what we call a three-point turn. He's got to pull out in the street, back up, and do that 2 more times in a section of Ackland that's descending and in a curve. So we initially looked at, okay, what could be done to widen that section of Ackland with some sort of rumble strip kind of on the backside, so the driver at least could do it in one smooth operation. We brought that down to Public Works, to Mr. Macy and to Devin Doyle in the Public Works Department. In all honesty, none of us were very happy with it, because it's still sort of it exposes that van to a limited sight distance coming down the hill. So that required us to sort of rethink this. And what we then did was we had a meeting with Council Lady Berkeley Allen and the neighborhood group, to express our concern safety-wise that there was really no safe engineering solution to this. The only other solution we could come up with was have the drivers literally go past the building on West End and probably circle back through Elmington Park and come out that way, which didn't make a bit of sense at all. And so we're here to ask for this special permit for this weight exception. I think the weight limit is like 5,000 pounds currently, and there are lots of vehicles that are over 5,000 pounds, but we're the only mass transit one that are currently using that. So I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions?
Prior to some of the new construction, the residential construction up there in that area, were your shuttles using this route?
Yes, they were.
Prior to that?
Yes, they were.
Let me add that in your packets there, or passed out today, there's a support letter from Council Lady Allen and from the neighborhood, if you haven't seen that yet.
So instead of coming up West End Avenue, you would come up through the back?
Yes, that's currently what they had been doing for years. And when it was pointed out to Vanderbilt probably 6 or 9 months ago that, hey, you guys are in fact in violation of this weight restriction, we tried to do it the other way. We'd had them come up West End and make this, this 3-point move to get back out on West End, and that just was problematic for us. So
This does not involve Fairfax Ave?
it does not.
They would be running, what, every 20 minutes?
I think this line runs every 20 minutes.
Any other questions or comments?
I'd like to make a motion to approve such request.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Mr. Barnes, good to see you again. Mr. Barnes' father, Dan Barnes Sr., served on this commission for about 15 years. And we watched Dan grow up. Thank you. Okay, this brings us back to our consent agenda. Resolution 1210. And there again, we'll vote on these all at one time unless you want to pull one of these for discussion. And if so, we'll pull it out. Authorize all-way stop on Tennessee Avenue at 55th Avenue North. Authorize stop on Honey Hill Court at Honey Hill Drive. Authorize no parking or standing on Hydes Ferry Road at Hinkle Drive. And authorize 2-hour parking in front of 2411 Crestmore Road. In addition to these, we have our parking reports and our engineering reports. Do you want to vote on these at one time?
Just a question. Honey Hill Court and Honey Hill Drive, is that a four-way stop?
It's a T intersection. It's uncontrolled right now. No signs at all.
Okay. If no objection, I'll ask for
So moved.
vote. Have a motion and a second. All in favor? We can vote by voice. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, ayes have it. Okay. This brings us down to other business. Any staff comments?
Well,
Ms. Chip, you want to make any comments?
very quickly, next month we have elections, chair and vice chair. Every year we do this, so start thinking about it. No big deal. We usually handle it pretty quickly, but something to think about as we get into November.
Okay. Ms. Marshall, you have anything you want to report to us?
Not at this time.
Okay. Benny?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. We're moving right along. We have with us Mr. Powell Hawkins. Mr. Hawkins, you're not on the agenda. And we cannot consider it in the business unless it's officially on the agenda. But as a courtesy to you, we will give you 3 minutes if you want to make any comments, and then get back with the staff for.
What I came for, sir.
If you would go to the mic. We also have a sign-in sheet. He already has it. Very good. Thank you.
What I did, sir, I talked to Mark Macy, and he told me to come in and ask y'all's request for me to come back before you to show you a problem that I have on Swinging Bridge Road in Old Hickory, where the signs are limited Swinging Bridge Road to 5,000 pounds. And I'd like to come back before you with my material to show you what I'm talking about. Just making a request if I can do that.
Okay. Well, you certainly have the right to do that. And we'll, if you will, get with our staff, and at your convenience, we'll put you on the agenda.
Yes, Chairman. I guess I do have a little something. Mr. Macy, I spoke with him a little earlier today. He gave me a packet I believe Mr. Hawkins had forwarded to him, and I'm supposed to speak with you after the meeting and try to coordinate what we can do. But he did give me some information to return to you, and we'll speak right after this. It's okay.
All right, sir.
Okay, sir.
Sir, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Hawkins. Commission? We've gone through our agenda. Any comments? I apologize for our facilitator not being here for our 2 o'clock meeting. I have no idea what happened, but they were given the opportunity, and we were here.
Mr. Chair, just as a comment about the letter, I think perhaps you and I received about someone making a comment about trees and shrubbery being in front of some signs on certain streets. And I just thought we should make or I should ask Chip perhaps what's a procedure in that, is when a citizen has an issue with not being able to read signs because of brush or whatever in their area, who did they contact about that? And I'll give you the copy of the letter that we got so you'll know where the streets are.
I'm sorry. We have a crew that specializes in that, if you will. Now, each one of our techs happen to have cutters on their vehicles too, but we have a crew that goes out and clears signs and signals and that sort of thing. 862-8750, puts it in our system, or get it to any one of us that you see, and we'll take care of it.
I just thought as a courtesy to the citizen,
Sure.
we should, make comments on it here at this meeting. So.
Right. Really, it takes no commission action. But Chip, if you would, as a matter of courtesy, would you respond to this party?
Sure will.
Tell them that it will be looked into.
Yeah, clearance of all our signs is very important, especially our regulatory signs, as you can imagine. So yeah, we'll take care of it.
Well, unfortunately, they didn't sign the letter, but they did give the address of the situation.
Okay. Commissioner, any comments? Announcements? Captain, you've been given a responsibility.
I make a motion to adjourn.
That's a good idea.
I ain't asked for it yet. Pull your mic down, turn your mic on. Down at the bottom of the red button. Okay. There you go.
Now it's on. I make a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. I hear a second.
Second.
We are adjourned, and thank you for being here today.